Hey YouTube, it's Bella. I hope you're having a beautiful, blessed day. So I'm here with a video to talk about similar topics to what my last video was about. I said I would be making a lot of videos about relationships and the banter between men and women or women and women. As you know, I cannot make videos about men and men or a man's point of view because I am not a man. So I have no way of knowing how they feel, how they think, how they act. I'm only an outsider looking in on that. However, I feel like by talking about this will raise true equality between the genders and true communication and make people realize, their rights and wrongs and what suits them best. So, yesterday I'll tell you a story and how let's backtrack. Last week, or whatever it was, I made a video about how women mistreat men and how they expect men to sometimes chase them around like puppy dogs. And I feel like that's a lot in the world we're living in now. Whereas now I'm going to make a video about expectations that are put on women. So basically, I'll tell you a little story about what happened yesterday. Yesterday, I called up a friend, and he happens to be the same culture as me, and it's going to come into play a little bit later, so I'm not just throwing out random facts. And I said, hey, we're going to call this friend M, because his name starts with an M. Hey, M, can you take me someplace? I have to pick up a piece of paper. And he told me, yes, I can take you someplace. So I go in the car, and one thing I'll say about M, he's a great friend, but M is so stubborn of certain things. And M is going the wrong way, and I'm giving him directions, but he's following the GPS, and the GPS is taking him a different way than I know. And I was sitting in the car, and I just was feeling frustrated. I have a cold. I'm on about like 8 medications right now. And basically, I feel like they made an interaction on me emotionally, because it's cold medicine, it's stomach medicine, it's bladder medicine, it's Advil, it's Claritin, it's everything together, antibiotics. So that causes it was a lot of medicine. I think my body wasn't really used to taking that all at once. So, anyways, M was frustrating me, and I started to cry. After that, we found the place, I went in the car, and Em and I had a great day. I took him to this tutoring place where he learned from tutoring. I'm the one who suggested it to him. And we moved forward from there. So, basically what had happened, I come home, my family just wanted to talk to me. And we were talking, and I was like, I got frustrated today with Em and things like that. I wasn't being like, oh my God, Em made me cry. And my 2 family members, I'm going to talk about in the future, because I want to make this like a long-lasting channel. When I talk about my family, I have 2 sides of my family side A and family side B, and this is family side A. So family side A was furious, and not for the reasons that you would think. A typical family would say, oh my gosh, why did you cry? Are you feeling okay? Did the individual hurt you? Are you hurt? They were not furious at that at all. They were furious at me for crying, and I'll tell you why. Because in our culture, which, has its good and bad, like every other culture in this world, in our culture, if we show tears to someone in the same culture, people will talk, and it will display poor mental health, which will then risk a female, which of course has an expiration date, and that will risk the female getting married and showing the emotions, showing things like that, showing poor physical health and things like that. I do not have poor mental health, but I just, was emotional, and I was talking about it, and they were getting like, why did you show this individual the tears? People are going to talk. It's considered looked down upon. Even when I dated people of the same culture, tears are considered looked down upon. It's considered a form of weakness. It's considered a very taboo thing to have emotions in this culture. Especially from a female perspective, because a female is expected to be presentable at all times, perfect health, perfect looks, perfect mental health, no emotions, a robot, to just be there available for the man. And you should see some of these men that came out of this culture. But hey, no shade, no tea. I'm not going to say which culture it is because, honestly, not because I'm ashamed of myself, where I came from. I'm alive. God put me on this earth for a reason. He made me who I am for a reason. And the way God doesn't create physical health or mental health issues, and that God doesn't, the same way God doesn't create those issues for no reason, the God that I pray to doesn't make mistakes, and people are not a mistake. So I'm not going to mention the culture I am because, number one, I don't want to offend anybody, because you might say, oh, my family is that culture and we don't act like that, or you're giving this a bad name, because everybody acts differently. In psychology, they say, you're supposed to embrace the strong parts of your culture and release the weak parts, like the parts that you deem weak, because each person deems things weak differently. So some people have released those ideals and give prosperous lifestyles to their children and prosperous lifestyles to themselves. However, I just, when people usually ask what nationality are you, I just say everything. And I am a few different things, actually. I'm not just one thing. So that is not inaccurate, but I just don't go into it because, honestly, it's a part of the past, and it's a part of my past that I just want to move forward from. So that's why I do it. It's not that I'm ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of where I come from. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I just want to build a new life for myself, and I just want to build a life and ideals that I find correct, and some of those ideals clash with the ideals of the culture. And the culture centers around expectations of women. So, personally, as a well-rounded individual, like I said, I've taken many psychology classes. I've met a lot of different people. I would, tell the person, are you hurt? Are you not feeling well? Why did you cry? Instead of, scrutinizing the individual for crying. It's okay. There's also a big focus on masculinity in this culture, meaning like the man can never show emotions as well. Basically, if you have feelings, it's worse than having cancer in this culture. So that's the story. So that's basically what it is. And I just would not, I know that sounds harsh, but it is what it is. I just, tell my future kids that they're allowed to have emotions, they're allowed to cry, they're allowed to feel. And I said to them, I'm not going to be a robot that doesn't have emotion, that doesn't love, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue to have emotions, continue to voice my opinion. And that's it. So the purpose of this video is to say that, and I know it's not just my culture that feels this way, it's many cultures that feel this way. Let me first to say, if you are in a culture where you grew up feeling like with expectations on females and that emotions are not meant to be shown, you're allowed to have your opinions as long as you don't force it on other people. Like the other day, I'm a Christian. I'm a non-denominational Christian. And the other day a person said to me, oh, you think because this person I don't know, doesn't really follow a denomination either, but it's a little bit different than me. They're like, oh, you guys like the atheist is evil. I said, no, the atheist isn't evil. It's not for me to tell the atheist that they're going to hell. That's their relationship with them and the higher power, which is God. I could love the atheist. I could show the atheist the God that resides within my heart through love, through understanding, through open-mindedness, to caringness. But the moment that the person tries to turn me away from what I believe, then we're going to have a problem. And that's the situation here. So again, if you feel that women expire, if you feel that you don't want your daughter to show emotions, if you feel your daughter has to be a china doll in a closet, or whatever, your daughter, your granddaughter, your niece, you're allowed to feel that. But the moment they don't agree with you, you got to take not one step back, you got to take a mountain step back and reevaluate yourself and start opening your mind. So that's that. Just don't force it. You're allowed to have those opinions. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. You're allowed to. I can't tell you your opinion is wrong because it's just that, an opinion. It's not my opinion, but you must take a minute to step back. Like I said, it's very difficult to talk to, and I know this video will hurt many people, but unfortunately, I guess we're all going to have to live with this hurt because I had to be hurt listening to it. So I guess we're all going to have to join hands, and we're going to have to cut our fingers and do the pact here and both feel the pinch on this one. So that's my feelings on that. If you're growing up like this, like I said, it's many different cultures that have this thing, and you're always hearing these things to be presentable. You're not allowed to cry. What if you're a sensitive person, if you're a man or a woman, and you're forced into a gender role? Let me be the first to tell you that never give up on your opinion, never back down. Try to show people your point of view. That's how I deal with these individuals. I just calmly explain myself to them and how I feel, and I just, at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm not changing my mind. So, your feelings are valid. You're not being dramatic. I know even I would talk about another particular culture online, that every time these people go to the hospital, that they're being taken as dramatic when they complain. And I witnessed someone of that culture being taken as dramatic when they went to the hospital. When my family member was in the hospital, a person of that other culture was next to me, and they were like being treated as such as well, and being treated differently than how my family was being treated, and I thought that was very wrong. And I was in the worst day of my life, and I was still trying to say, hey, help this person, with tears in my eyes. So, it's not being considered dramatic. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to have emotions. You're allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to feel negatively about something if you don't like something. You're allowed to voice your opinion. You're allowed to have a voice. It doesn't make you less desirable. It makes you, every time that you lessen who you are, who God made you to be, you go against you're not only yourself but your maker in heaven. So you're here for a reason. Never feel bad of what you came from. Never feel bad who you are. Be lucky you're alive. And if you decide one day to give life, you could change it for the next generation, or you could help other people in need and give them strength as well from your heartache. And I'm gonna grow from my tear that falls off my face, gonna hit the dirt and grow beautiful roses. And that's what I'm gonna do. Basically, it's an analogy. So, yeah. Well, water's plants, water. And tears is water. So, and plants grow to be beautiful beings. So that's what I'm saying. So, push forward. Never give up. And God bless you. If anyone has messages about this, you can write me. And be true to yourself. You're allowed to feel. It doesn't make you any less of a person. When you stifle yourself, you take away from yourself. You only hurt yourself. So, I love you all, and be in touch. Bye.